Tracy, you believe in liberation, right?
I believe in liberation. Yes,
I,
absolutely.
so to become a trader, you have to know how to win to become liberated. And
Right.
so I remember your ideas from last time,
Uh,
and I'm pretty sure that you stuck with them, even though we had this stock market meltdown that took the metals down and everything down with it. You had defined the platinum range between 1,900. We had this one last washout during the stock market 20% sell off. So,
Yep.
yeah, and we're right back near the top of the range. It's a great range trade. You could have done it a few times, huh?
Yeah, and that's kind of what we talked about last time I was on. I was
Yeah,
like, if you can get just slightly under 900,
yeah.
and play it to 1,000, it's not, it's been very range bound until it breaks one way or another. It's just been the play consistently. I still think that it's going to break to the upside. We shall see. But in the meantime, it's been a great trade.
Okay. And then I think I said, do you ever think we'll see 28, $27 silver again? And you said never. And then during the crash, it happened.
Well, during the crash, I don't think I said that never. I would never say never.
No, you did. You did. No way. Anyway, so that was a tough low to buy, but gold silver ratio has shifted. Looks like it's trying to top out. Do you favor silver over gold? It's sure
I
acting
still,
better.
yes, I do. Well, I think they're both important, uh, and I think you're going to still keep seeing shallow pullbacks in gold. I kind of feel like every time we see a pullback in gold, everybody thinks that's it. This rally's over. We're going back to 2000, and we just haven't. This market's just not giving you big pullbacks. And if you look at the flows in this market, retail has really just hopped on board sort of this year. We're just starting to see flows in. So, I still like, buys on pullbacks in the gold market. And I certainly still like silver is very coiled to me. And I think if you like gold, silver is going to provide you with an even larger move because if we look historically, whenever we've seen gold rallies, we've seen silver follow much later at times, but with an even larger move. And so, again, I still like pullbacks in both of these metals.
Okay, is it possible we could see 2,700 or 2,800 in gold over the next couple months?
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
I think it really depends on how trade talks work and the problem is that, with this recent trade deal that we've just had with China, and I use deal in quotes, it's really still just another 90-day pause. So that uncertainty still remains. In addition, we're still seeing central banks buy a ton of gold. And really, they've been the major buyers of gold and they're buying on dips. So, unlike a normal sort of investor retail fueled rally where you
Right.
kind of have those highs and lows of sentiment and the market follows, this is really being driven by the fundamental side. And so that's why I think this rally is a little bit different than we have been seeing in the past as far as gold is concerned.
Okay. So when we look at, do you have the same conviction about copper? I know a lot of people that like precious metals also like the shortage story and the build out that how much copper we're going to need in the new economy.
Yeah, I still think this market, I still think this market has some upside to it. That's a very bullish pattern you got going on there on the one day. Uh, but again, I still like the story. I mean, earlier this year, I was looking for $5. We got it.
Yeah.
So right now, this market is consolidating. It's coiling right now. So we'll see if it springs to the upside or the downside. Again, I do favor the upside on this market because of the supply
Okay.
demand situation.
Okay, let's get to your wheelhouse. So maybe you could explain to me why, we had one production increase. This was a crash again, it took everything down. But then we had an OPEC, a Saudi or increase in output, and then there was the second one that gapped the market lower, and we've had nice recovery. Most people are saying that you know, that economic growth could come back. What's behind this rally, Tracy? Do you think that it's geo at all,
I
or
think
just go
Yeah,
ahead?
I think it's that, yeah. I mean, I think there's geopolitical issues
Yeah,
with this market right now. I also think that, we had a production increase with Saudi Arabia for April, and the numbers came in. The group as a whole actually produced 30,000 barrels less than they did in
yeah.
March, even with the production increase. And if we look at, I think
How does that
reality
happen? How does that happen?
because
They just,
the
uh,
cheaters
yeah.
follow in line. That's how that happens.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because
And
everybody's
that's
made,
why they did it in the first place,
well,
to
partially,
punish the cheaters.
partially, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
Uh,
could they have? I mean, I'll just postulate. Could this, besides, President Trump wanting lower prices, could they have taken this market down because there might be a military strike in Iran, and it'd be better if the oil market was cushioned and unloved before that happened, rather than it being at $80 into an attack?
I don't think Iran had anything to do with it at all.
Nothing.
Uh,
Okay.
in my personal opinion, that $55 area, I mean, you could kind of call that a double bottom. That $55 area is key for producers, for US shale producers. Below that, you're going to start to see production come offline.
Trying to
And
wait for this webinar to be over. I can't wait. Right, literally, actually.
Who's that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Um,
I took
I have
care of
no,
it.
Okay. All right. So uh, with the oil, here at 62, you're saying that in the shale production is still
At
profitable.
62, I think you're fine. You have to realize that shale producers break even is about $65, but
Okay.
that depends on what basin you're in. So some shale producers can produce below that, some above. That's kind of the medium. I mean, 62 to 65 would be, the happy place where, we don't get overproduction, we don't get underproduction, and oil would be.
What price level do we need for major producers to fulfill a drill baby drill promise?
Well, I don't think you're ever going to see that. In fact, if you
Okay.
listen to, I listen to all of the conference calls, and that is just not the reality of the situation anymore.
So maybe
That
we should
can't
change
do
it to glow baby glow.
that. Perhaps.
Trace, I mean, if we're embracing uranium, we got to change it to glow baby glow, right?
Go, baby, go. Well,
So
it is interesting on the uranium front. I mean, it's kind of been unloved for the past few months or so, but we're starting to kind of see some interest again. So we'll
I'd
see,
say,
how that market goes. That the miner's kind of different. I was thinking of uranium price.
here you
I
go,
was looking at.
like this.
No, that's the uranium ETF again. That's
This
physical uranium. No,
Sprott
that's physical
physical.
uranium. No, no, no. You don't have the spot price on there.
All right. I've had enough radiation in my lifetime anyway. So, you like uranium though, as a energy
Yeah, I
play.
still like uranium. I like uranium miners, particularly ones in the United States. Is going
How about
to,
this cheap one? Do you
so,
know it?
I do not know that one.
Denisons. They've been around for a long time. They're in Utah, I think, one of the only U.S. producers.
Yeah, UEC is
Anyway,
another US producer, which is interesting because they have processing capabilities. And we just had Google come and say they are planning on building 3 nuclear plants for their AI, although they
wow.
don't know what technology they're using yet, but also interesting announcement that we just got a couple days ago. So,
Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Now let's get to. I wanted to ask you if you were disappointed in the performance of AG so far.
and no, I mean, I've kind of been in and out of this one, but I still like it for a long term.
Could we go 450? That would
Possible
be
we see,
back at the lows.
yeah, I mean, if we got down, retested that trend line, I would definitely buy it again.
Okay, so I just want to, it's a two-way conversation. I want to show you the best performing silver miner. I trade them, and it's Coeur d'Alene. They took over absorbed some production, and they had excellent excellent earnings. Where the hell is it? Wait, CDE. So the other silver stock, here it is. So compared to the other silvers, look at that. And that was earnings driven.
Nice.
So I keep an eye on, I look at what's the relative strength. This is the relative strength of silver. So if you ever get a pullback, this one looks pretty good. Um, so silver, gold, oil producers, uh, you know, agriculture's been mixed, and I know there's been times on and off where you bought stocks at maybe fertilizer stocks, or is there anything happening in agriculture for you
So,
right now?
I was I got long MOS Mosaic
Okay,
um I don't know, like a month ago, and rode it for a little bit. That was nice little ride there. Yeah, I still like it on pullbacks just because I think that the farmers are going to get a lot of help from the government just due to this tariff situation. And I know that, we saw a rally in soybeans
yeah.
yesterday
Beans are
on.
the strength. They're the strength of the grains. All
Well,
the other
yeah,
grain, yeah,
well, yeah, because China buys a lot of soybeans from the
right,
United States, so they got a lot of help from the 90-day pause slash trade deal, whatever you want to call it. So that's nice. Wheat got pretty beaten up yesterday, especially
yeah,
after that WADC report. So
yeah.
I
Corn,
mean, if you're a day trader, grains have been very volatile. It's been a great two-way trade in some of them.
okay. Beans look like the strength, just like I showed Coeur d'Alene. Uh, but well, let's take a look at the grains and see what Tracy's talking about. Where here we go. So here's corn, and it's still way off its lows. This is
Yes,
what started it. It was a leader for a while, and this is what Tracy's talking about. Wheat just can't find a bottom. Starting to diverge, but just it can't find a bottom. But look,
looks pretty ugly.
beans look like a completely different market with a huge base. And I must have this black line here for a reason. It's been drawn for a while. We're approaching a breakout. So protein gold is what they call it, right, Trace?
Right.
Yeah. Um, so beans look like the best of breed in the grains, if you want to use a stock term. Um, any comment on this?
I don't trade that. I don't trade cannabis. I have no idea.
Well, I was just thinking for, the next 4 years that their demand might increase.
I literally know nothing about cannabis
All
stocks.
right.
I'm the
Anyway,
wrong person to
anyway,
ask.
Don't buy
Um,
it yet. There's confirmed lows. So anyway, I could see that. S&Ps, do you think that was it? And we're just the whole event, this whole thing we've lived through and traded through over the last couple months was just a dream and
um,
everything. What do you
you know,
think?
who knows? I think we'll probably have, after generally after we have those kind of big moves, the market tends to consolidate a little bit. So we probably won't see as much volatility in these markets, but never say never in this current administration. So
Yeah,
anything can happen. So, I prefer to just watch this one on a day-to-day basis.
yeah.
Larry Fink was he's in Saudi Arabia now. He was just talking to the audience there, and he said there's still a ton of money on the sidelines. There's about 12 trillion in European bank accounts and 11 trillion in US money markets. So by and large, this rally that we've had in S&P has not been a lot of investment. It's really kind of been
Yes.
a retail
What's a
chase.
short? It's been what? Short covering and retail, not
Yep,
institutional.
correct.
Okay, so the dumb money is buying this. And the
I would-
institution, the dumb money's making money while the smart money hasn't committed after a 20% rally. So maybe the dumb money is the smart money.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't, I don't like that term dumb money, but
Okay. Amateurish. How's that?
sure.
Okay. The amateurs, the shortstops. Uh, what do you think? You have any view on rates? You cover rates with Ninja?
Yep, we do cover rates. We know Bessent and the Trump administration desperately want those yields down.
Yeah, they
So
do.
I think and it looks pretty bullish, unfortunately for
Yeah.
them. And so, I think you're gonna have see some sort of intervention by the treasury market, if that 10-year starts to get over, 4.55%. I think we'll see some
Okay.
finagling in the treasury market.
Okay, by who? The Fed or the Treasury? Because there was
The
something that,
Treasury, the Fed
yeah,
can only control the short end. They can't control
right.
the long end.
All right.
So, you can switch duration of the Treasury buying and selling. There's a lot of mechanisms they can use, but, this is going to get very uncomfortable for them shortly
Yeah,
if
because I think,
this move continues.
okay, because I believe Vasana came out a couple of weeks ago and was what that the Treasury now has a facility to come in and buy bonds. And, you know,
Yep.
do you know what that was about? Is it new or it's just a facility that's always been there that they
It's
could?
kind of always been there. I mean, Yellen sort of used that. What she did is she changed duration
Oh, okay.
of the Fed buying,
Yeah.
which
Short
affected
end.
the so
Yeah.
we'll see what they come up with. I mean, I think we're right at the point where they're not really happy. You get to 5% and they're really not going to be happy, but it still looks bullish to me.
All right, Trace. So, how do people find you and your show?
Yeah, so I have a 8 o'clock macro show every morning from 8 to 8:35. And then at 2:30 p.m. I have a hot commodity show, so a short commodities show.
Okay, and where do they find that? Just go to
And
your
so that's on
X
YouTube, NinjaTrader YouTube channel.
NinjaTrader YouTube channel.
Yep.
Okay, so that's where you could find Trace. Are you still staying active on X?
Of course,
Okay,
I have a habit. I can't quit it.
all right. So another addict, ex addict, Tracy Shuchart. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate it, and wish you a lot of success. I hope your show grows like a mushroom.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. Have a
All right,
great rest of your
Trace.
day, everybody.
Tracy Shuchart, everyone. Follow Shy Girl wherever she goes. All right, and that's a wrap. You join the team in 15 minutes on the morning edge. Don't just count your barrels, count your blessings, and see everyone tomorrow. Adios.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.